Nieko huko Muru Bay, that's the only place we have a border patrol unit. Kwa that side, tumeambiwa jana kwa Homa Bay, and I'm sure Kisumu also the same issues will be raised. We are cognizant of this fact, and for the BMUs who are here, kwamba we are a bit weaker in terms of our numbers. And so we have a plan to increase the border patrol units along the lake. And after this recruitment to increase the numbers, that is something we are going to put as part of Jukwaa la Usalama resolution. We are going to work together. And there is a plan to build also offices or port of entries or areas where border patrol units Coast Guard are going to operate in. Already there is work that's going on here. Governor alikuja siku ngine mpaka ofisi yangu na waheshimiwa. We're building something in Usenge. Now it is the police had to leave some of its lands ndio hiyo ijengwe. Kuna the other places that have been mentioned, we are going to set up bases for the Coast Guard. In our modernization equipment, we are also we are getting some new boats. Better boats that can help in manning the lake. But more importantly, tuko na joint cooperation na Uganda. And we had a meeting, and Mheshimiwa Joho aliambiwa to work together with the Minister of Agriculture from Uganda to see how and fisheries on how to deal with the issue of shared resources in the lake. You also need to appreciate that sometimes also a good job has been done by Coast Guard. Wali arrested some people, now kapelekwa kotini huko Busia, Uganda. So there are some areas that we are progressing, but we can do better. Pia the BMUs mtusaidie. As we sort your problem, sort our security problem also. Because kuna contrabands in the future through the fishing, that the BMUs should also come out and work with security team to deal with contrabands, alcohol, cigarettes, hiyo high five ya kutoka Uganda inaletwa through the sea, and it is also yourselves that have a role to play. Number two, hii county yetu tuko na challenge ya mambo ya defilement and gender-based violence. And mama amesema na watu wengi wamesema hapa, part of the reason is because of repugnant cultural practices like disco matanga. I don't know where disco inakutana na matanga. There was a time disco was disco, matanga was matanga. This one was dancing, this one was mooning. Sijui walikutana wapi ikakuwa at is one thing. I think that's something we need to deal with. And the best way to deal with is to deal with the families that are burying their loved ones, to engage them. If you know there is a funeral in a particular place, engage them. And let's agree, kusema, this is not, we are not going to allow this because it's going to affect us in 1, 2, 3, 4 ways. It's also good to deal with it through barasas. And that is what we discussed in Western, because it's also prevalent in that area. And it's helpful when you have engagement through barazas, through nyumba kumi, and you're engaging the people, even as we look for legislative ways of addressing those issues. Again, mambo ya defilement, chiefs and assistant chiefs, please do not accept to use alternative dispute resolution mechanism over a kangaroo court ya village huko kuacha mambo ya watoto. You know that is a very serious issue, and you are in a position of responsibility. All these cases should be brought to the police station and then onwards through the justice system. Please, let's deal with this issue because it's very prevalent here, an entire Western and Nyanza region up to Bomet there, and then some places in Eastern. We really need to do something about defilement. Defilement is of great concern to us, and it's concern in this area. On issues of murder, part of the people, why you need to know that murder here is perpetuated by fighting over land, some of which a lot of it is about succession. Alafu ingine ni mambo ya competing for resources, and then robberies, stealing of livestock, mambo ya mining, and all those conflicts. I think we need to also address the root cause. The police have promised to do further operations to make sure that we deal with these criminal gangs that have been operating here. A lot of work has been done. There was a time 42 Brothers was a big problem in this region, but we can do more so that we can make sure that we sort out these issues. That is the The IG has a way, he knows what he's going to do. There is an operation plan that we put in place, and the IG is going to deal with it. Thank you very much, IG. On the question of alcohol, drugs and illicit alcohol, again, I am very happy. Siaya is one of the counties where there is good interagency working relationship, but we can enhance that. I agree that there are certain licensing issues, testing issues, and so forth. Yes, the chief has proposed kwamba the reason why something is called illicit is because it has not gone through the legal system. So it's not for me to know whether it will be called changa or it will be called siaya drink or it will be called what. It's not my problem. The problem is that anything that is not licensed, that is not approved, anything that's not approved is illicit. So we deal with it. If we want to get it approved, that is now manufacturing processes and all those other issues that we can be able to go through. I don't want anyone to leave here and say mkutano huu ulipitisha kwamba kutoka leo kwenda mbele changa ni mzuri tusonge mbele. Mwenye atasema ni mzuri ni KEBS and other agencies that are dealing with food and drinks and so forth. That process is there, and it is important for us to respect that process, because then it's the only standard way. That's why even Busa is being licensed, because then before the license, you are told about the process of manufacturing, and then you get a license and so forth and can be monitored, so that watu waziweke nguo za ndani na kufanya nini, kufanyisha watu wakunywe vitu chafu. Again, we will continue our crackdown on drugs and alcohol. Most of the alcohol here, interestingly, there is no adulterated ethanol that is really highly distributed here. Most of it is just as on transit. So the real issue actually is the changa, and the chief has really applied his mind. And when we will have another discourse elsewhere, I think there's a lot of things we agree with him, and most of you agree with him that we must, incorporate the proper ways of processing so that we can sort out the question. Because the only reason why some of these things are illicit is a failure for approval, not because the content is substandard or whatever you can say. Then we need to know what is the standard number for that drink that is manufactured where, whatever the name is going to be called. The other issue of this area is mining, unregulated mining. Again, we have agreed that we will hold a meeting with Ministry of Mining to think through the whole problem from Kakamega, Busia, Hapa, Migori. Migori is even worse. In the place I went to Migori, kila mahali mechimbwa chini ya nyumba, kando, nini, barabara. It is important that this thing be dealt with. It's health hazard, it's also environmental hazard, and it is also a cause of conflict. We need to follow the proper process, register these cooperatives, SACCOs for the artisanal miners, and then regulate it so that then they can be able to do their business in the right way. The other issue, something I wanted to emphasize here that the pastor raised was about religious extremism. Initial religious extremism was considered to be a problem with the Muslim faith. But now we have a big problem with Christian faith. So extremism is extremism depending on. And I don't think it can be called Christian faith. It's just that those who are posing as Christians, because that's not Christian doctrine. Just the same way that those who are using Muslim faith to mislead people are doing the same. I want to say that it's important here in Siaya, we cooperate the security sector. Chiefs, please. What happened to this thing of being brother's keeper? When you hear that there's a problem in certain part of the community, call Baraza, talk, create awareness. The story of Jared, is he called Jared, the guy who left here, all the way, after being rescued in Chakama Ranch and brought all the way to Siaya, left here again all the way with his children to the same neighborhood. Na akaenda kusupervise watoto wake one by one, wakistarve to death. It is just unfortunate. And no matter what we say about security, nobody will police everybody everywhere. So the only way is to have community cooperation. so that we can be able to deal with this issue. And Siaya is also vulnerable because of that, and I think all of us need to deal with this issue. You have raised the issues of your welfare. So larger ni summarize. One, nimewambia for the village elders, that issue is being dealt with. I have done the CAB memo. I'll present the CAB memo to cabinet. Once cabinet gives directions, we will see how to facilitate village elders, not to give them salary. Government is unable to give salary to village elders because those who are salaried are employed in a particular way. But facilitating so that they can do their job, they have airtime, they have a torch, they have gumboots, they have something, umbrella, you know, and something small. They can pay for share and so forth. That's something we are thinking through. Number two, administrative units which are here. Some date back to 2016, 2017. I have realized that also compared to the population, some of the location, sub-location, your requests on these administrative units are very justifiable. But we received a very small budget the other day. We are sitting after next week when we are done with Jukwa to look at the map of the country and see the little money we have received once there is an exchequer release, how many locations can we operationalize, how many sub-locations, who needs more, who has been marginalized for long, and I'm sure this county is going to